Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Fall River Housing Authority meeting. It's Monday, September 12th, 2022, and it's 5:15 p.m. Attorney Souza, will you read the open meeting law, please?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recordings or transmissions are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible.
Thank you. Martha, the roll call, please.
Chairwoman Sahadi.
Here.
Vice Chairman Underhill.
Here.
Commissioner Burns.
Here.
Commissioner Bentley.
Here.
Commissioner Medeiros.
Here.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is citizens' input. Do we have anyone here this evening? Seeing none. The second item is residents' input. And there are no one here from...
Madam Chair, Ed asked me, he's not feeling well, but he asked me to remind everybody that Bill King Memorial Tribute is going to be Friday. Just anybody that's interested in coming, it'll be Friday at noontime at Cardinal, Medeiros. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And to remind everyone about the farmer's market, which is excellent.
That's a good thing, yeah. Yeah, doing really well with that.
Thank you. Item 2 is the minutes of the postponed regular meeting held on August 15th, 2022. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. Item 3 is bills and communications. 3A are the vouchers. The recommended action is to accept the vouchers as presented in your packet.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any questions with regard to any of these vendors or vouchers? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Item 4 are the management reports. The 8 reports are included in your packet. Report 1 are the applications. 2 is the occupancy reports. 3 is the tenant accounts receivable. 4 is the work order reports. 5 is the monthly Section 8 voucher activity report. 6 is the monthly personnel count report. 7 is the Director of Modernization monthly report. And 8 is the bank investment and bond debt balance reports. Does anyone have any questions with regard to any of these reports? Do I have a motion to accept the reports as presented?
Motion to accept the reports as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 5 is the financial reports presented by our Director of Finance. This is for the month of May. The recommended action is to approve the May monthly financial report. And I believe those were emailed to everyone.
They were.
Motion to accept.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any questions with regard to the report? Our Director of Finance is here this evening, Amber. No questions? No questions, Amber. All in favor?
Aye.
Item B is the state quarterly operating statement, and it's for the period ended June 30, 2022. The recommended action is approval of the operating statement. That also was emailed to everyone. So do I have a motion to approve the state quarterly operating statement as of June 30?
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions with regard to that report? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 6 is an update from the Executive Director.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. A few things this month. The Community Development Agency, CDA, Mike Dion's office, is offering Narcan training for staff members for the Housing Authority. So we have our monthly managers meeting tomorrow. Following that will be the first training from the city on the Narcan, and then on Wednesday, the maintenance leaders meeting, and following that, there will be training as well. And then we're going to schedule a couple of other trainings for other staff members, but that's a start. And they offered it. It's a free training just to educate us on what we could do if we come across a situation like that.
Kevin, I'm just more curious than anything else. Are they going to give you cans of Narcan that you keep at the different sites?
If we want it.
If you want it, okay.
If we want it. I figured we'll do the training, get some feedback from the training, see how receptive everyone is, but they do actually have the Narcan to supply us that we could keep. So.
Thank you.
The next thing is we established a Safety and Security Committee. I know some of the commissioners question that, and we're looking in to see if we've completed that. It'll be Attorney Souza, Deb Morissette, myself, Tim McCoy, and one of the police officers assigned to the housing unit. And starting later this month, we'll be getting together to meet, whether it's Zoom, phone conference, or in person, whatever works for the members, and then coming up with a report, and we'll get back to you so you're aware of what's going on at our sites. So that's in the works. The next thing I have to report is we had a REAC inspection at AMP 6, which is Cattell, Oliveira, and Mitchell. And I'm happy to say that Kathleen and her staff and Ed and his staff did well in the preparations. We received a score of 83, up 13 points from last year, 72 and 83. So with that score, that puts us where we won't be inspected for 2 years. So kudos to them and their staff. You'll see on the agenda a recommendation on a vote for the union negotiations. We had a Unit A and a Unit C vote late Friday, so we weren't able to put that on the agenda. However, the results came in. Unit C accepted our proposals, so when we get to that item, I would recommend that you ratify that. Unit A did not, so I will be speaking with Attorneys Essen tomorrow or on Wednesday and seeing what direction we'll go from there regarding Unit A. That's our Maintenance Facilities Division. And the last thing, as was requested a few months back, some goals that I put out as the new executive director. There's a one-page outlining those goals in your packet. So that's what I and we as an organization will be working on, always looking to improve customer service to our residents, our applicants, our vendors and landlords, improve REAC scores, maintain vacancy turnover in 29 days or less, maintain occupancy rate of 97% or higher, reduce tenant accounts receivable to 2.5% or lower, maintain our Section 8 Management Assessment Program, our CMAP score of 95% or higher, improve on our FAS Public Housing Assessment System, and improve on our DHCD PMR, Performance Management Review. So those are some of the goals that I've outlined that I'm going to be looking to achieve and work on and continue in the right direction with our dedicated and hardworking department heads for the remainder of this year. And then we'll set something for the following year. That's all I have for this month. Thank you.
Anyone have any questions? Mr. Spadilla? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business. Item 1A is modernization. A is the contract award for apartment conversions Phase 3 at Cardinal Medeiros Towers on the 13th floor. The recommended action is to award the contract to the low bidder, DDC Construction Incorporated, in the amount of $400,750. Do I have a motion to award this contract?
Motion to award the contract.
Second.
Any questions with regard to this contract?
Madam Chairwoman, I'm going to abstain from that vote.
Certainly. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
This, I'm sorry, can I make just one mention just for the notes? That this says Phase 2?
Yeah.
So a couple years back, we did the 14th floor. The goal is to do 1 to 2 floors. We would have had 13th floor completed, but it was tabled by the previous administration or nixed. But now we're back on track,
So is this Phase 2 or
This-
Phase 3?
Phase 2.
Phase 2, okay.
Oh, yes, you're right. Thank you, Commissioner. On the agenda, it should have been Phase 2, and I read Phase 3.
Oh, yes.
So it is Phase 2. So that is the correction here. The contract award is for apartment conversions Phase 2 at Cardinal Medeiros on the 13th floor. No worries, please. Item 2 is miscellaneous. A is a supplemental police service contract. The recommended action is continuation of a contract for a one-year period beginning October 1, 2022 to September 30th, 2023 for 5 offices in the amount not to exceed $410,000. Do I have a motion to continue this contract for an additional year?
I'll make a motion to approve it, but I would like to make a comment or have a question once it's
Sure.
on the floor officially.
Sure, do I have a second?
Second.
Questions?
So my colleague to my right has often brought up at the meeting kind of concerns with what we're doing with police and some issues at different establishments, some of our property. So I don't know that we've had a gathering with PD, try to figure out some of those concerns. So prior to approving it, my motion would be to table this until my colleague to my right gets to have his say for the residents and kind of figure out what we're doing. I brought this up before. It does say in the article, it says the housing authority will have the ability to assign for targeted and specific periods, and I've never been a part of that. I'm not asking to be a part of it, but I feel like my colleague to my right wishes to have a say in that. So I would like to see that happen before I blanket write the check for $410,000. So I would make a motion to table until that meeting happens. So I need a second.
I'd second that motion.
All in-
So I believe
Right,
that's
because he-
parliamentary correct, yes. I would make a motion to withdraw that, and I don't know if we need to approve that.
Yes.
So my first motion would be to withdraw the motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, and Dave, you're going to second that one? Okay, and then you're going to make a motion
I
at
think
this
we
particular
have to approve that
Oh, I'm
motion
sorry.
first.
All in favor to withdraw the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
And then I would subsequently make a motion to table this issue until,
A meeting with the police department and the chief and the...
just to try to figure out what we're doing, right? I know there's some questions about the exact areas and times and all that we're doing, and I've heard my colleagues speak up a couple times about that, specifically at Maderas, but I'm sure there's other issues. So before I approve, and I'm willing to approve it because they do a great job, but I want to make sure we're on the same page with our board. So that's my motion to allow that meeting to take place, and I think David had agreed he would jump in on that
Yep.
meeting.
And if I can, Commissioner Maderas also said he'd like to be part of that. So that's, we will get together and through Mike or Kevin.
So
We can set up.
I understand correctly, do you want me to set up a meeting with the housing unit, or are you referring to my safety and security committee?
What I believe, what I think I need has to happen, remembering my colleagues' points, is have a conversation with PD. What does this look like?
Yeah.
What do these positions look like? What are the timeframes? Do we have any say? It does say that the Housing Authority has influence on targeted and specific difficult times, right? And so I think he's brought up some specific issues, and I would like to at least allow Commissioner Underhill to have that moment to say, hey, this is what I'm really concerned about these times, and if it works for us, I want to support him, and if it doesn't, then I want to have that conversation with him too. So I think he has, basically asked for the right to have those conversations with PD. So not necessarily your committee, PD.
So you want me to set up a meeting that Commissioner Underhill can attend and Commissioner Maderas?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the chief specifically? Chief specifically?
I would support Commissioner Underhill. I don't know that it was chief specific. It was that group, but I'm supporting whatever he feels is appropriate.
I only say that as I was speaking with Commissioner Maderas earlier, and Mr. McCoy and myself are waiting for an answer. We are going to be meeting with the chief. However, I can set up a meeting with the police unit, with a separate meeting with the chief, whatever your pleasure is, just so I'm clear on what I'm doing.
Well, I guess my concern is, and it's the same as what Commissioner Burns brought up, but we're being asked to approve a pretty large sum of money that I know has been an ongoing thing, and I know I'm not questioning whether it's right or wrong, but are we getting the maximum results from it, I guess, and is my question. And we don't have any reports to base our decisions off of. We don't know anything of where the efforts are being placed, how are they being placed, what kinds of results are we getting. So I think having at least some of that information so that we can start to make some informed decisions would go a long way in coming to a confident vote on this money, and I think would be helpful. If that meeting is with the chief, or if it's with the person who is responsible here at the Housing Authority for dealing with the police department, I'm not sure, but I think some conversation or some reports would be helpful.
So, Commissioner Underhill, will you be comfortable if I set up a meeting with the director of the Housing Authority unit and maybe another officer, and Deb Morissette, who is our point person?
As long as, like Commissioner Maderas brought up, that we can talk to somebody who's responsible for giving those reports that we're looking for to the Housing Authority.
So we do.
Go ahead.
We do get reports. Mm-hmm. We do get monthly reports for assignments, for payroll purposes, what they're doing. We also get police reports if there's any incidences of crime. So we do receive that. That does go on a monthly basis to Deb Morissette. But I can definitely, when I meet with the chief, go into more details and then maybe set something up so your level of comfort is good.
Okay. Because both Commissioner Maderas, obviously I get a lot of complaints because I'm there.
Sure.
But he gets calls And we want to be able to give some kind of answer to the residents like that. Well, in the past 3 months, the incidents have been going down, or they've been hopefully not going up, but we want to have some kind of facts and figures that we can give to them. Right now, we're like, I don't know. That's what
Yeah,
we're saying.
no.
I don't know.
So, do we want to table this for next month so I can coordinate this and then you'll have what you need, the information you want and
Well,
need?
depending on when the meeting is going to be, like, couldn't we just table it for now, and then once we have that meeting, can we just have maybe a phone call and approve this? So
We have to table for a period of 30 days. After that,
Okay.
it would die.
Okay.
So if we table it for a period of 30 days, it gives them the opportunity to look into it and then have an answer for you by the next board meeting.
that's not going to interrupt any service or anything,
No,
is it?
no.
Okay.
Well, technically,
this-
this begins October 1, so it may, depending on,
That's,
right. I guess my question is are we looking, because we do get reports, so are we looking for more of a schedule? Like, we've got 5 offices, I'm just using an example, 5 offices, and they're reporting to these units on this day, and these units on that day. Are they rotating? Is that what we're looking for?
I think some of that is
Because we get reports,
at the root of these
so-
questions, yeah, like.
How many, what's the $410 paid for?
The what?
What does the $410 pay for,
Exactly,
basically?
and
How
could it
many hours, how many
be
offices?
directed with more benefit to other areas if they're,
Right, so if
if
we
they're spending
chose-
X amount of time at sites that don't have issues, or do they not have issues because of the time they're dedicating there?
Right,
Or
but we
could
don't
they
know
be
that, and do we want to redirect
redirecting some
them
of that
to a
effort
different site?
to places where there's more concerns? So we don't have anything to base any decisions off of when approving this money, so just something, some basic information I think would be helpful to start.
So I think if I'm correct, if we table it for next month, I think I can turn this meeting around and get the information and coordinate a meeting, and then you will have that prior to October's meeting, and then you can make a more informed vote if that's
I think if you table it for 30 days, it's on the agenda for next month, and then we discharge of it, or
right.
right.
positive or negative, right? We
Right.
discharge of it, you approve it
But
or
I
you don't.
think
And it
according to
probably gives
Attorney
us-
Souza, it has to be,
It would have to be a period of 30 days.
Do we want to approach the police department and see if we can pay per diem from September 30th or October 1 until the next meeting?
Wouldn't we have the ability to do that anyway, though, with Tim, with the contract? We could extend a contract for a certain percentage, and I don't think that would be a problem by doing it.
Well, first of all, this isn't really,
It's not a
it's
procurement.
not subject to 30B, it's not a
Correct.
procurement, it's an
Okay.
intergovernmental contract. I would assume on a common courtesy, there'd be a phone call or an email, say, listen, we realize that typically the contract commences every October 1st. We're not having a meeting until October 11th. Can we pay you on a per diem for those 10 days potentially? Or potentially too, I mean, do you mind just,
Extending
can you
the
hold
service.
off for the 10 days? Because we have to have something in place.
Right.
Obviously, with a contract like this. So in other words, can you even just hold off? Because I'm not even sure we'd be initiating a payment within those 10 days anyway, Michael.
Right.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
that
the
is
accounting
what we-
side of it.
Right.
But again, a courtesy, advising them that we're probably going to be the second week of October before a ratification, pending a meeting, and can we pay you per diem, as Chairwoman Sahadi suggested, for the first 2 weeks of October.
Do we need a
I don't see
motion
that
to
as an
pay
issue.
them accordingly in the interim? Is that what we need to do? Because I'm okay with that. I don't want to drastically change what we're doing, but I think it's appropriate that our commissioners
if we
get an
word
opportunity.
it, if need be, I'll probably know more in the next couple of days after meeting.
I mean, I can tell you this, we have
Chief
a noon on Wednesday with Chief Gover. So Kevin and I and the chief. So the first stop at 11 o'clock, I'm sorry, May I have the floor? The first meeting at 11 o'clock was not solely about the police contract, but have an 11 a.m. teleconference with the mayor where some of the coverage issues were going to come up. And then there's a noon between Kevin, myself, and Chief Gordon on Wednesday, so 2 days from now. But again, I understand that the board is asking, if I understand it correctly, again, Mrs. Morissette gets those reports, probably have someone, from the actual unit itself, the housing unit, would be relegated, Michael, would 2 board members be okay to me without
Two board
violating
members will
open
be
meeting?
fine.
So again, we can also, after discussing with Chief Corbin Wednesday, we can also ask him to set up, to have his folks be available for a meeting with both gentlemen, both Chairman Medeiros and Chairman Underhill, Commissioner Underhill, Commissioner Medeiros, with a member of the housing unit, preferably their supervisor, and Debbie Morissette. And that way you'll be able to see what she gets each month privately in a way where, and I'm assuming to allow for the free flow of discussion when we're discussing security matters and police police enforcement and things of that nature. And we can go from there. So I can't answer to the next question specifically. I think Commissioner Underhill regarding a phone ratification similar to maybe what we just did on the security contracts. I think the tabling will force you to wait for the 30 days.
We'll have to wait.
So you're going to have, so that gets back to, let's advise them that based on Chairwoman Sahadi's suggestion, we'll do a per diem for the first 2 weeks, and then whenever that meeting is, the second week of October, obviously we have Columbus Day, however it falls, then you'll be able to take a more informed vote.
Perfect. I think that addresses my concerns.
So we have the motion that was.
Motion's on the floor to table.
For 30 days. There's also a motion to pay a per diem for the first 2 weeks.
So I think we got a discharge of the first motion, right? So motion on the table.
The motion on the floor right now is to table it. We have a motion and a second. So Martha, we need a all in favor for tabling it.
Aye.
Okay.
So now you need a motion
Now we need
to
a motion.
continue
Right.
with the per diem equal to what we've done in the past. Again, prior to our official meeting and agreement.
Second.
That was a long motion, I apologize.
No, that's okay.
I'm thinking and talking.
Okay, and I have a second on that. All in favor to continue
Aye.
the contract? Okay, we're all set. Martha, do you
Yeah.
have all that? Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Item B is the Animal Control Officer contract. The recommended action is the continuation of a contract for a one-year period, beginning October 1, 2022 to September 30, 2023, in an amount not to exceed $17,500. Do I have a motion to continue the Animal Control Officer's contract?
Motion to continue.
Second.
Any questions with regard to this contract? All in favor?
Aye.
Item C is the security camera surveillance system installation at Benny Costa Plaza, Fordney Apartments, North Radcliffe Apartments, and Raleigh Plaza, funded through the Safety and Security Grant Award. The recommended action is to ratify the contract award to KM Security Solutions for Benny Costa Plaza at $60,618.84. Fordney Apartments at $52,419.16. North Radcliffe Apartments at $45,779.22, and Riley Plaza at $33,649.49. Do I have a motion to ratify this contract?
Motion to ratify the contract awards to KM Security Solutions.
And I second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions? This was the contract that we got the information on earlier. All in favor?
Aye.
Item D is the HUD flat rate schedule. It's effective for October 1, 2022 through January 1, 2023, and the recommended action is approval. And we have that in our packet as well, I believe. that. I got it right here somewhere. I knew I had it. Thank you, though. Do I have a motion to approve the HUD flat rent schedule, rather?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any questions with regard to the schedule? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Item E is open enrollment for Blue Cross Blue Shield Dental Blue, effective October 1, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve the open enrollment?
Motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 3 is personnel. A is the resignation of an employee. It's to accept the resignation of Jasmine Bainez, leased housing support assistant, effective on August 26, 2022.
I do make a motion to approve. I'd like to make a comment too after it's seconded.
Second.
If I may. It does seem like the last few meetings, we've had several people resigning, and I don't know, so my only question is, not that it's not warranted, do we do like exit interviews? Do we do a process where we understand why people are leaving? You know, is it a financial issue? Is it a distance from work? You know what I mean? Just wondering if we have a sense of, and I could be wrong, I don't know what my colleagues think, but I feel like every time out now I'm getting a resignation or two. So if that's the case, then so be it, but inquisitive mind, right? I'd like to make sure that we address why they're leaving.
So, the department that the person may be resigning from, the department head will try to inquire why, what the issue is, and some choose to give feedback, some will send an email. Sometimes it's money, sometimes they're not happy with the working environment, what they're doing in their roles.
But it's a function of the department head.
Yes.
So if we ever get any reports, positive, negative, whatever it may be, I'd love to, I'm just trying to get an understanding of what I sense as people choosing to leave.
We've received both, where it was a positive experience for a few years. We had one clerk that resided in New Bedford and was able to get a job in New Bedford.
Completely makes sense, yeah.
However, we had someone that was not happy with the pay and went to Dartmouth Housing Authority and got an increase in pay. We've had others, I think this one in particular was at the school department, came over here, wasn't happy with the environment and was able to go back to the school department. So
I appreciate it. I know it runs the gamut, I'm sure. I didn't ask you personally on the phone before we spoke, but it was a question I had. In the future, I will ask you directly, but it is something that I think is important, that we all understand why people leave, and there may be completely rational reasons, and there may be something that we can try to fix. So that's all I'm looking at. So I appreciate it. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'll ask you next time, but that's certainly a focus, and make sure that we know why people are leaving.
And, if I can just segue a bit as the next item, in these negotiations with the various units, that nothing is perfect, no organization is perfect, but I'm trying to foster a positive environment with equitable pay and workload and decency among staff members, and in any negotiations, right? It goes your way, sometimes it doesn't, and you got to keep working at it. But we've heard for many years, and sometimes it's legit, sometimes not. The morale and the atmosphere. So I can tell you, in every department I worked in, I've always tried to foster a positive atmosphere. They get fairness, they get transparency, some people you can't please. Sometimes it's legit. They get a better opportunity. You can't fault someone for a better opportunity somewhere else. You wish them the best. You hate to lose them, but you wish them the best. So, for various reasons. And
Yeah, I'm not suggesting there is anything negative, but just for my edification, when we're signing people out and approving resignations, I think it's important for me to understand the overall concept of why people are leaving. And if there's something I can fix, I want to. And I know you're the same way, and I'm not challenging you on that. It's just something personally I would like to know. So whether I ask you individually, because I think it's probably more of an individual conversation rather than, put it on a microphone and be in public with it, but that's up to you.
Any other questions? All in favor of acceptance of this resignation?
Aye.
Item B is the proposed agreement between the Florida Housing Authority and the Asme Council 93, Local 1990, Unit A. It's a 3-year contract from April 1, 2022 to March 31, 2025. It includes a 3% wage increase each year. Year 1 is retroactive to April 1st of 2022. Year 2 begins April 1st of 2023, and Year 3 begins April 1st of 2024. The vote took place on Friday, September 9th, 2022, and our Director Spadella is going to fill us in.
So we had 2 votes on Friday. This one here, Unit A, and they voted against the memorandum of understanding that we came to in the proposals. So I'm not sure if we withdraw it, if we table it, because I won't know till sometime this week on what direction we're going to go in. I'm going to reach out to Attorney Zessin, our labor attorney, confer with Tim Burke, Human Resources, Tim McCoy, and come up with a direction that we want to go in regarding this. Felt it was a very good package, but again, people, it's their right to vote it up or vote it down. They voted it down. So Attorney Souza should...
I would recommend that we withdraw the item. That way, when there is some discussion between the Housing Authority administration and the union, then you can put it back on the agenda at any time. So that you wouldn't be required to address it again in 30 days if it's not completed.
And this was realistically the way it was written, for information only.
Correct.
Anyway, so I don't know that we need a vote to withdraw it, correct?
I don't know that it was formally on the table because it said
Right, that's my point, I guess
That it
that's
would-
my point.
a recommendation would be forthcoming, but right now the recommendation is we don't have one because we don't have an agreement.
Exactly.
So I'm okay with that. We just leave it as is, right?
So we'll leave it as is.
We could leave it, it would, technically, it would just die on the table, so to speak.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's what I believe, okay. All right, so we're good. Item C is a proposed agreement between the Florida Housing Authority and Asme Council 93, Local 1990, Unit C. It's for a 3-year contract, April 1st, 22 to March 31, 25. It includes a 2.5% wage increase each year. Year 1 retroactive to April 1st, 2022. Year 2 beginning April 1st, 2023. And Year 3 beginning April 1st, 2024. The vote on this contract also took place on Friday, September 9th, 2022.
Okay, as I said, Unit C did vote on this and approved our proposals and our MOA, so my recommendation would be to ratify this by vote and accept it.
Motion approved. Second.
Second. Any questions of the director?
No, just
Hearing none.
say that I support collective bargaining. You guys both came to an agreement, so I stand in support of your agreement. So, thank you.
Martha, can I have a roll call on this
Yes.
one, please?
Commissioner Burns?
Yes.
Commissioner Maderas?
Yes.
Commissioner Underhill?
Yes.
Commissioner Bentley?
Yes.
Chairwoman Zahadi?
Yes. That is the last item on the agenda. Does anyone have anything further they want to bring forward? Hearing none, a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.